Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy GW Hodges coming in once again on today. Today is Thursday. What is today's date? January the 12th, 2023. Listen, a blessing to be here on today. Today, I just want to say rest in peace to my grandmother. Today has been a birthday. We miss you. We love you. I got to give a shout out. Listen, we're going to jump right into it today. The topic for today is get up. Okay. Let me back up a little bit. Y'all know what I come to do. I come to uplift. I come to motivate. I come to inspire. I come to pour into the lives of somebody like you that's needing it. And so, listen, the word I got up for somebody today is, and I promise you, I'm going to be here just real briefly, is get up. And I got this from a post that I shared earlier today, and I thought it was fitting in this season. It says, get up. And that means whatever you got to do to get up, you have to get up and do it. Whatever you have to do is to get your momentum going. You have to get up. It's not time to be quitting. It's not time to be faint of heart. You got to get up. It's too much work to be done. We got too much going on in our society. We got our children's dying. We got babies, our children's going to the penitentiary system. We got too much going on out here for us to be laying around and lollygagging. It's time to get up. So listen, whatever you got to do, let's do it. It says, listen, if you got to start all over, if you got to start from scratch, if you got to build it down, if you got to tear it down to build it back up, then guess what? Go for it. Listen, the potter and the clay, sometimes the potter, when the potter looks at the clay and the vessel is not looking like what it desires to be, then the potter has to break the clay back down in order to build the clay back up. So if you got to start over, then listen, start over. If that means you got to do it by yourself, do it by yourself. One thing about starting over is when you start over from scratch, at least you got some experience on working the process. So it says start over. It goes on, it says start late. Listen, I'm looking at some people that's starting late off in life, and you wondering, listen, I messed up my 20s, I messed up my 30s, I messed up my younger life, and so here I go now. Or you might say I messed up my teens, I messed up my early 20s, wherever you at right there. If you got to start late, then start late. The goal is just get started. Don't worry about what you did do and what you didn't do. Man, you got to get up and get started. Nothing is going to happen without you getting started. You got to take the first step. The first step is the biggest step. You hear me? And you got to make it happen. As a matter of fact, I saw where it said, not only that, it says, don't give up. The beginning is always the hardest. When you're trying to build something from scratch, it's harder from the beginning. Why? Is because a lot of people don't want to buy into what you're talking about until you mess around and get it going. And so you're going to have to fight this thing, and you're going to have to push forward. It says start late if you got to start late. He says start again, start over, start again, same thing. Okay? Start back. Whatever you do, just get started. Okay? And so I'm going to give you an example. I was reading last year. I was reading the book, and I got lost behind in my reading, and I kept trying to play catch up. And when I was trying to play catch up, I was getting further and further behind, trying to play catch up. And one day God spoke to my spirit and said, stop trying to catch up and just start where you at. That's a word for somebody today. Stop trying to play catch up. Time waits for no man. Whatever time is gone, you cannot get the time back. So what you're going to have to do is just start where you at. Wherever you at in life right now, start with what you at and start with what you got. Just like God told Moses, use what's in your hand. Use your capabilities. Use your resources that you have right now, man. Whatever it is. Listen, you just got to get started. Okay? You can't quit. You got to start. And then the last but not least, it says delay does not mean denied. So I want to tell that to somebody today. Delay does not mean denied. So in other words, although it haven't came yet, it does not mean you're not going to get it. Just because it didn't happen last year, it didn't happen 10 years ago, it didn't happen 20 years ago, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. So he says delay does not mean denied. If God done promised you something, man, it's coming to pass, but you cannot give up. You cannot quit. Galatians 6:9 says, grow not weary in well-doing. in due season you shall reap if you faint not. He says, grow not weary and well doing, because in due season, God is going to give you what you desiring when it's due, not when you see that it should be due, but when God sees for it to be done. And listen, that's all I try to do. So I told you I'm consistently showing up. I'm coming here every day to pour little nuggets, twos and fews that grab on hold to it, run with it. But I guarantee you this here, if you follow these concepts and these precepts that I'm putting out for you, you can't do anything but win. I'm telling you, I've been winning for a long time. And the reason I've been winning for a long time is because I didn't quit. Not saying I ain't had no hard times, not saying the struggle wasn't real, but one thing I didn't do is I didn't quit. I got tired. I might have took a break, but then I was back at it again. Listen, it's time to push forward, man. It's time to go for the gusto. It's time to put 110%, put every ounce of energy into it. It's time for you to stop just putting 50% in, putting 60% in, putting 70% in. It's time to put in 100% of what you believe in. It's time. And so listen, he says delayed does not mean denied, man. Just because it ain't came to pass, just because you ain't saw it, just because it ain't happening, and yet it doesn't mean it's not coming to pass. And so listen, that's all I got for this evening. I'm gonna start shortening down this here because I don't want to, I'm not here to bring a sermon. I'm here just to pour into the lives of men and women who, just to give you a little extra push, just to help you on this journey so you can have the momentum you need in order to be successful. That's my heart's desire. My heart's desire is to see you win. My heart's desire is for you to come out on top, man. And so that's what I got to do. And so this is what it is. 2023, we coming out on top. You gonna win. But you got to start. You got to start. You got to start, right? And I'm going to give you this here, and then I'm gone. I like a standard, what they call a standard or a stick shift, right? When you drive a stick shift, anybody that drives a stick shift or know how to drive a stick shift, they'll tell you the hardest gear to get out of is first gear. When you're trying to get out of first gear, you got to try to maneuver the clutch and the gas at the same time. You got to let off the clutch and press down on the gas. If you don't do them simultaneously, if you don't do it at the right timing, the car will stall out. And a lot of times that's what happened with people, that when they're trying to go, right, and they're trying to do what they're trying to do, they stall out. And then they become frustrated because it's stalled out. But let me tell you something. One thing about a stick is once you finally learn to get out of first shift, you'll find out it's easier to maneuver through the rest of the shifts because you can just listen and watch it come to pass. Listen, it's your boy GW Hodges coming in on today, telling you to hang in there, move forward, go forward, because it is coming to pass. Don't give up. Get started. It's your year to win. Listen to